Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading this morning from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 12. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna. We were reading about how Shivji was glorifying Lord and his devotees, and how did he say that how the different philosophers are looking at you and ask in different ways, but they are all looking at you, Krishna. So no one is greater or equal to God according to Patanjali, and there were different philosophies that we read, but then it is just that he is. uh, he's the cause of all the causes, and he's the original. He is, everything comes from him. And yeah, and then there was this beautiful example of sun also that we read.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we continue with today's verse then, text 10. Naham parayu rishayo namari chimukhya
Naham parayurvishyo namarichinukhya
jananti yad virachitam khalu sat pasarga
jananti yadviruchitam khalu satvasargaha
yanmaya yamo chita chetasa isha daitya
Yanmayayamo Sitachet Ishadetya
Martyadaya kim utasha swadabhadrabrittaha
Mardayadayati Utshat Abhadravartaha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, I, who am considered to be the best of the demigods and Lord Brahma and the great rishis, headed by Marichi, are born of the mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Aside from us, what is to be said of others like the demons and human beings who are in the base modes of material nature, Rajogun and Tamagun? How will they know you? Factually speaking, even those who are situated in the material mode of goodness cannot understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is to be said of those who are situated in Rajogun and Tamagun, the base qualities of material nature? How can we even imagine the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Lord Shiva is saying, he's in the mode of goodness, Lord Brahma, and then he's saying the great rishis, the seven rishis, um, they are in the mode of goodness. And then others, others are in the mode of passion and ignorance. So Lord Shiva is saying, we who are in the mode of goodness cannot understand you. Then how will the people who are in the mode of goodness and ignorance understand you? Lord Shiva is saying, we are bewildered by your illusory energy. Any pastime you remember where any of the great demigod is bewildered by Krishna?
Brahma Vimohan Leela.
Yeah, that's right. Brahma Vimohan Lila. Lord Brahma is saying how this little boy can be God. He's holding yogurt rice in his hand, eating like this with his friends, eating their juta. How can he be God? Couldn't understand. So then what about us, we who are in Rajogun, Tamogun? There are so many philosophers trying to understand the absolute truth. But since they are situated in the base qualities of material nature and are addicted to so many bad habits like drinking, meat eating, illicit sex, and gambling, how can they conceive of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? For them, it is impossible. For the present day, the Pancharatriki Vidhi, as enunciated by Narad Muni, is the only hope. Srila Rupa Goswami, therefore, has quoted the following verse from the Brahma Yamala. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpata Utpata Yeva Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narad Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.101. So here, Lord Shiva is saying, how can people who are addicted to bad habits understand you, my dear Lord? So then here Srila Prabhupada is saying, the Pancharatrika Vidhi, as said by Narad Muni, is the only hope. So devotional service is the only hope. And here, um, then Prabhupada is quoting how this devotional service has to be performed. Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, has to be performed by following the rules and regulations which are mentioned in the authorized scriptures, the Upanishads, Puranas, Pancharatra. If one says, oh, I'm not going to follow what's written in the scriptures, but I'm going to make up my own rules and regulations, then we are going to be simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. Because then, our mind, we can imagine anything and think, oh, this is correct. So, but then that's just our mind. It may not be correct. So, following the rules and regulations. Those who are very advanced in knowledge and are situated in the mode of goodness follow the Vedic instructions of the Shruti and Smriti and other religious scriptures, including the Pancharatriki Vidhi. Without understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this way, one only creates a disturbance. In this age of Kali, so many gurus have sprung up, and because they do not refer to the Shruti, Smriti, Pranadi, Pancharatrika Vidhi, they are creating a great disturbance in the world in regard to understanding the absolute truth. It's true, because so many people, because not having read the scriptures, not having understood the scriptures, and then they may be speaking to others. So then there is so much misinterpretation going on. However, those who follow the Pancharatrika Vidhi under the guidance of a proper spiritual master can understand the absolute truth. Because the idea is to understand absolute truth, to understand God, to revive our love of God. And to do that, we have to follow what the scriptures are saying. What is the proper method? Like it's a science, right? Science. Like two particles of hydrogen and one of oxygen, if we combine, we are going to get water. So we have to follow. We can't say, oh, to make water, I'm going to imagine something else. We simply follow and we are going to get the water. So similarly, all these bhakti shastras are telling us how to engage in bhakti. We simply have to follow. It is said, Pancharatrasya Krishnasya Vaktatu Bhagavan Swayam. The Pancharatra system is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just like Bhagavad Gita. Vasudev Sharana Vidur Anjaseva. The truth can be understood only by one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Vasudev. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 19. So, knowledge, we are trying to gain knowledge. There's so many departments of knowledge, but what is actually knowledge? Knowledge is to understand that we are not the body, we are spirit soul, that we have a relationship with God, that let me engage in that relationship. So, one who is in knowledge, Krishna is saying, actually, who is in knowledge, one who's actually understood, I'm not this body, I'm the soul, then what he does? He surrenders to Krishna. Then, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. So, such a person who's actually in knowledge is very rare. He's a great soul and he's very rare. Only those who have surrendered to the lotus feet of Vasudeva can understand the absolute truth. Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahaitukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Bhagavatam 1.2.7. So, if we want knowledge, we want detachment from the material world, we simply have to engage in devotional service. Devotional service begins by hearing about Krishna from Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if we do that, we will gradually get knowledge and we will get detached from this material world. Because here Lord Shiva is saying, no, what is going to happen to people who are in modes of ignorance and passion? So Prabhupada in the purport itself is explaining what do we have to do? Because it's a very important question that is raised by Lord Shiva, out of compassion for all of us. He's saying people in the mode of goodness can't understand you, then how will those who are in mode of passion and ignorance understand? So Prabhupada very clearly giving so much evidence from the scriptures that what do we have to do? We have to engage in devotional service. Therefore, Vasudeva Bhagavan Sri Krishna personally teaches in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityagya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66. So, this is Krishna's order, his instruction in Bhagavad Gita. He's saying, just surrender unto me. Engage in devotional service. So, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, see, listen, Arjuna, you're not this body, you're the soul. You're not the body, you're the soul. So, now you surrender. That is where Bhagavad Gita ends. And that is where Bhagavatam begins then. Okay, so then one says, okay, then Krishna, I surrender to you. Then what do we do? Engage in devotional service. That's where Bhagavatam begins then. Glorifying devotional service, glorifying the pure devotees, glorifying the Lord and his different incarnations. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is only by devotional service. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 55. So we can see that Prabhupada is giving us so much evidence from so many different scriptures to tell us that, okay, the only way that we can actually understand Krishna is by bhakti, by devotional service. That's the only way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not properly understood even by Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. What to speak of others? But he can be understood by the process of Bhakti Yoga. So, Mai Asakta Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Mad Ashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyaasyasi Tashrinu. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 7. If one practices Bhakti Yoga by taking shelter of Vasudeva, Krishna, simply by hearing Vasudeva speak about himself, one can understand everything about him. Indeed, one can understand him completely, samagram. So, for example, I want to know, I want to know, okay, my dear Neha, what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat, what you like to wear, what you don't like to wear, you know, what how you I want to know you. I simply have to ask you. I have to hear from you. You will say, I like this, I don't like this. I like to do this activity, not this activity. I have this, I don't have this. That's the best way if I want to know you. If I ask somebody else, then it may be speculation. It may be right, it may not be right, there may be some mixture in it. So it's simply by hearing from you. Similarly, we want to understand God, we simply hear from God. God Himself is speaking the Bhagavad Gita about Himself. We simply hear, and in that way, we will be able to understand Him. It may take some time, gradually, but we will understand Him completely, as it is said. Samagram. Is that okay? Any, any questions or comments? Okay. Seems not. And let's go on. Satvam samhitam adasthiti janmanasham
Satvam
Tvam
samhitam
samhitam
adasti janmanasham
janmanasam
bhute hitam cha jagato bhavabanta moksha.
bhute hitam cha jagato bhavabandha moksha
Vayuryatha veshatikam cha chara charakhyam.
Vayuryatha
yatha
vishati
shikham cha
chara
charakyam
Sarvam tad atma katayavagamo varun se.
sarvam
sarvam
tad
tatatma
atmakatya tvagamo varunste.
My Lord, you are the supreme knowledge personified. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance, and annihilation. And you know all the endeavors made by the living entities by which they are either implicated in this material world or liberated from it. As the air enters the vast sky and also enters the bodies of all moving and non moving entities, you're present everywhere, and therefore you are the knower of all. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Ekopi asau rachayitam jagat andakotim yat shaktirasti jagat andachaya yad antaha andantarastha paramanuchayantrastam govindamadipurusham tam aham bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who, by one of his plenary portions, enters the existence of every universe and every atomic particle, and thus manifests his infinite energy unlimitedly throughout the material creation. Brahma Samhita 5.35. So Lord Brahma is telling us that Govinda, Krishna, he has expanded, and one of his plenary portion is the Paramatma. And this Paramatma has entered into every atom of this universe. And by this Paramatma manifestation, he is maintaining this entire universe. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhyastabhirya eva Nijarupataya Kalabhihi Goloka eva Nivasati Akhilatma Bhuto Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the Primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Golok, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency Hladini. Their companions are her confidantes, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Brahma Samhita 5.37. So Lord Brahma is further saying that where is the Lord residing? He's residing in Golok, and Radharani is there, right, who resembles his own spiritual figure because she's his own energy, right? His Hladini energy, who embodies the ecstatic potency, Hladini. So Srimati Radharani is the personification of Krishna's own pleasure-giving potency, his Hladini Shakti. And then they are the gopis, her expansions. She has expanded as the gopis and who are all serving Krishna in this Madhurya Ras. Although Govinda is always present in his abode, Goloka Eva Nivasati, he is simultaneously present everywhere. Nothing is unknown to him, and nothing can be hidden from him. The example given here compares the Lord to the air, which is within the vast sky and within everybody, but still is different from everything. So Lord Shiva is saying that you are there everywhere and yet you are different. So now we can understand how Lord Brahma, he's saying that Krishna, you are in Golok Vrindavan with Radharani, with the gopis, and yet you are everywhere as the Paramatma. You have entered every atom. Just like the air is everywhere, it's also inside our body, but also outside. The air mixes, I'm sorry, it never mixes with anything. It carries the aroma of whatever, but it never mixes. It's always different. So, very, very beautifully, Prabhupada is giving us the evidence from the scripture to understand this example by quoting from Brahma Samhita that Krishna is there in Golok, yet he's everywhere as Paramatma, just like the air. Air is there in the sky and is inside everyone, and yet it's different. Is that okay? Any comments or
Yeah,
questions?
very beautifully, yeah, very nicely explained.
Right? Yeah, that's it. It's such, so it's very easy to understand them. Very
So
nice.
even Paramatma and also the energy, right? It's all pervading, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah,
His energy.
yeah, that's right. Energies are everywhere. See, the material world,
Yeah.
combination of this material energy and we, the spiritual energy, we are here. Then the
Because like
spiritual
in
world has
non-moving,
spiritual
right?
energy.
Sorry, yeah, in non-moving object, there's no Paramatma, right, in it. But the energy, right, is there. Can we
Yeah.
say like that?
So, but we are hearing, yeah, it is material energy, non-moving object, but
Yeah.
the Paramatma is there in every atom also, if even of the non-moving. For example, if you are saying any 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 object, right?
Like
Say
a
a
table
chair,
or something.
yeah, a
Okay.
table or a chair. So it can have its form because the atoms are there. And the
Atoms.
atom can have its form only because Paramatma is there inside.
Okay.
Otherwise, it won't even be able to have its form also.
Every atom, right.
Yeah. Is
But
that
like
okay?
we say, no, it's dead matter.
Yeah, it is dead matter actually. It is dead. For example, how we say our body is also dead. But inside
Mm.
this body, we are there. The Paramatma is there and the Atma is there.
Yeah.
Once the Atma and Paramatma leave the body, we are calling it dead body. Till the time.
So,
I'm
can we
sorry.
say, like, for the matter, like the non-moving matter, there's no Atma, but there's Paramatma,
That's right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. And that's how, and Paramatma is inside there and belongs to it belongs to Krishna. It's his material energy. That's how the devotee can see Krishna everywhere. He's seeing Krishna everywhere, you know. What we are doing, we are seeing these objects. But the pure devotee, he's seeing Krishna. Yeah. Avtara maya drishta
Avtara maya drishta
brahmamanasya te gune
भ्रमयमानस्य ते गुणः
soham tad drashtum ichhami
सोऽहं
Soham tad drashtum
तद्दृष्टामि
gicchami
yatte yoshid vapurdritam.
यत्ते योचित अपूर्जितम्.
My Lord, I have seen all kinds of incarnations you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities. And now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman, I wish to see that form of your Lordship. So, see, first Lord Shiva is praising the Lord. And then now he's putting his request. He's like, I've seen so many of your other incarnations. I haven't seen this one. Can you please show me? When Lord Shiva approached Lord Vishnu inquired about the purpose for Lord Shiva's coming there. Now Lord Shiva discloses his desire. He wanted to see the recent incarnation of Mohinī-mūrti, which Lord Vishnu had assumed to distribute the nectar generated from the churning of the ocean of milk. You know, we do that to each other, right? When suppose we want something from a friend or from a family member or something, we may praise them first, say, "Oh, you're so nice," and then we will ask them the favor. "Oh, can you please do this for me?" Or can you, isn't it? But for Krishna, we may somehow forget it and just say, "Krishna, give me this, give me that. How about this? How about that?" But in our personal dealings, I was just thinking about it. And I was like, even like when we want to get something from someone, ask some favor or something, we may actually praise them, glorify them, and then we may ask them, "Oh, can you please help me do this?"
Yeah, very, very true. We
Right?
do that.
Because-
Yeah, yeah. Like
right? That's
Romy
what I
recognizing
was.
many times when I want something from me, say, "Oh, how come all this?" You think that what do you want now? You tell me. Go straight to the
See?
point. It's
See,
true. It's
right?
true. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because that's what I was realizing, because when I was also talking to Laveen, I was first because I wanted him to do something. So I
Okay.
was also like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah,
And then I was like, isn't this what Lord Shiva is doing right now?
yeah. But
Just
Lord Shiva,
yesterday.
wow, like really, what praises and
Oh, yeah. 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 But then so we can see that, it's like a personal relation, right?
yeah, yeah.
Isn't it?
True.
Like the
Mm.
person, like we do this because, like, for example, you see how you with Romy, you're maybe, you know, praising him
Yeah,
or something. Like it's a personal relationship. And then he's like, okay, what do you want? Tell me.
yeah. You see, suddenly, how come you're telling so many nice things? Yeah, true.
Then oh yeah. So then now finally Lord Shiva has spoken his desire. Yena sammohita daitya.
Yena samputa
Pita Tetya
daitya.
Paitascha-amritam suraha.
Paitashamritam sura
Tad didrikshava ayata.
Tadidrakshvaya ayata
Param kautuhalam naha. I'm sorry. Param kautuhalam hinaha.
Param Kautuhalam Hinaha.
My Lord, we have come here desiring to see that form of your Lordship which you showed to the demons to captivate them completely and in this way enable the demigods to drink nectar. I'm very eager to see that form. Shishuku Vachan.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Vacha
Evam Abhyarthito Vishnur.
Evam Abhyarthito
Arpito
Vishnu
Vishnu.
Bhagavan Shulapanina.
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Shulapani
Panina.
Rahasya Bhava Gambhiram.
Prahasya
Asya
Bhava
Bhava
Gambhiram.
Gambhiram
Girisham Pratyabhashata.
Girisham
Girisham
Pratyabhashita.
Pratyabhashata.
Sukadev Goswami said when Lord Vishnu was thus requested by Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand, he smiled with gravity and replied to Lord Shiva as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is known as Yogeshwar. Why is he called Yogeshwar? Lord Krishna,
Because he's the
Yogi,
master of
Yogi
the
is Ishwar.
senses of the
Ishwar
whole
of the
universe.
yogis.
Yeah,
Yogeshwar
Yogi is
is
Ishwar. Yeah,
master of the mystics.
yeah, master of the mystics. Yes.
Yeah, the owner of the senses, he's called Rishikesh.
Rishikesh, yeah.
Rishikesh, yeah, that's like master of the senses. Rishikesh. So Yogeshwar, Ishwar of the yogis, master of the mystics. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Mystic yogis want to acquire some power by practicing the yoga system. But Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is known as the Supreme Lord of all mystic power. Lord Shiva wanted to see the Mohinī-mūrti, which was captivating the entire world. And Lord Vishnu was gravely thinking of how to captivate Lord Shiva also. Therefore, the word Bhava Gambhiram is used here. The illusory material energy is represented by Durga Devi, who is the wife of Girisha or Lord Shiva. Girisha is another name of Lord Shiva. Durga Devi is the wife of Girisha or Lord Shiva. Durga Devi could not captivate Lord Shiva's mind. But now that Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Vishnu's feminine form, Lord Vishnu, by his mystic power, would assume a form that would captivate even Lord Shiva. Therefore, Lord Vishnu was grave and at the same time was smiling. Because Durga Devi she does not captivate Lord Shiva. He is a pure devotee. He is completely absorbed in Lord Sankarshan. Is completely absorbed. So now here Lord Vishnu is saying, now Durga Devi is not able to captivate you. You want to see my illusory form. So he's grave and he's smiling. What form shall I show you now? Shri Bhagwan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Kautuhalaya Daityana.
Kautuhalaya Satyana
Yoshid Vesho Mayadrita.
Yoshit Pesho Mayadrita
Pashyata Sura Karyani.
Pashyata
Pashyata Shura
Surakayani.
Karyani
Gate Piyusha Bhajane.
Gate Piyusha Bhajani.
Bhajani.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, When the demons took away the jug of nectar, I assumed the form of a beautiful woman to bewilder them by directly cheating them, and thus to act in the interest of the demigods. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead assumed the form of the beautiful woman, Mohinī-mūrti, the demons were certainly captivated, but the demigods present were not. In other words, those who maintain a demoniac mentality are bewildered by the beauty of a woman, but those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, or even those on the platform of goodness, are not bewildered. Remember any example? Not captivated by the beauty of a woman?
Is it Haridas Thakur?
That's right. That's right. Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, the prostitute came to him 3 evenings in a row. And after that, after some time, Maya Devi herself went to test him. And yet he was not captivated by her. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead knew that because Lord Shiva is not an ordinary person, he cannot be bewildered even by the most beautiful woman. Cupid himself tried to invoke Lord Shiva's lusty desires in the presence of Parvati, but Lord Shiva was never agitated. Rather, the blazing fire from Lord Shiva's eyes turned Cupid to ashes. So Lord Shiva, the Cupid was trying to captivate Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva found it a disturbance and he burnt him. Therefore, Lord Vishnu had to think twice about what kind of beautiful form would bewilder even Lord Shiva. Consequently, he was smiling gravely, as stated in the previous verse, Prahasya Bhava Gambhiram. A beautiful woman generally cannot induce Lord Shiva to be lusty. But Lord Vishnu was considering whether there was any form of woman who could enchant him. So Lord Shiva is a great, great personality. Cupid cannot attract him. He burnt up Cupid. So now Lord Vishnu is thinking, now what form should I show him?
And even his wife, right? Durga
Yeah,
Devi
his
also.
wife. That's right. That's right. He's not captivated by her. That's why all the time we see him, he's in meditation. He's only completely absorbed in the Lord, thinking of his Lord. So stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. Certainly very interesting, right? So continue tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for listening.